Hello wonderful human beings, Sheldon Evans here, and in this video we're going to be going over 10 ways that you can work from home in 2019. These are legitimate business ideas to make a full-time income working from home. They're either things that I've done in the past or that I know of people or friends who are currently doing them right now. So let's jump right into it. Okay, so the first way that you can work from home is by becoming a virtual assistant. Now, what is a virtual assistant? Well, it's basically exactly what the word says. You're going to be assisting someone with either their business or personal needs, depending on what it is that they want. A virtual assistant could do anything from creating documents for someone, formatting documents, managing projects, creating presentations, maybe scouring the web and doing research, creating travel plans, sending flowers to their spouse, even managing their social media accounts and responding to comments and creating posts, creating content for their social media, managing someone's e-commerce business. There are a ton of different things that a virtual assistant can do depending on what your client's needs are. For example, I have a few virtual assistants who help me manage my e-commerce business. I have someone managing customer returns and customer support. I have someone managing the accounting and the bookkeeping side of the business. And I have someone creating new business who goes out to research, finds new clients, finds new businesses to sell to. These are all the different things that my individual assistants help me do. I also have a personal assistant who helps me manage my day-to-day life, like booking my travel plans, booking my flight tickets, and getting me accommodation. This saves me a ton of time and makes my life a lot easier, but it also helps somebody else pay their bills. Working as a virtual assistant can make you a lot of money depending on what sort of skills you have to offer. It could range anywhere from $4 to $15 to even $100 an hour. Now, if you've never worked as a virtual assistant before, there are some places online that can teach you how to become a proper virtual assistant and gain some new skills that will help you increase your hourly rate. You can also sell your services on sites like Upwork or freelancer.com, or you could market yourself individually to individual companies. There are some organizations out there as well who will hire you and then outsource you to individual clients, depending on what sort of skills you have to offer and what sort of needs their clients have. Number 9 is becoming a home product advisor or someone who helps with customer service online. For example, when you visit a website and that little box pops up on the side with "How can I help you?" and you're chatting to someone, you can be the person on the other end of that line or the other end of that contact box who will help and advise someone with whatever sort of product or service they're selling. For example, Apple has a very good program called Apple Home Advisor where you can become someone who helps inform new customers or existing customers of Apple products and services. Now, there's probably a ton of job offers out there for this similar position or something along these lines, but Apple is a very reputable company and they're a company that you know and probably use every single day in your daily life. So wouldn't it be great working for them? There's a ton of different perks that come with working for Apple, such as being able to work from home or work from your laptop or work from anywhere in the world, depending on where you are. If you go to their website, you can see all the current job offerings and you get some additional things like discounts on their products and probably announcements before the products hit the public. Now, it's obviously not just Apple that you can work for. I just mentioned them because they are one of the biggest and most recognizable brands out there, just to show you that this is a legitimate job. You could work for a company like Dell, you could work for a variety of different software-based businesses who always need new customer support agents. So this is something that you could assist with simply by sitting on your laptop. Number 8 is becoming an SEO expert or search engine optimization expert. Well, if you don't know what it means, this is a great place to start. Basically, it's someone who helps rank websites on search engines. Obviously, the higher your website is ranked on a search engine, the more traffic you'll get to that website and the more business whatever that company is will get, because there's more eyes on their company's page. There are dedicated people out there known as SEO experts who help companies rank their website. They know how to create backlinks for website, they know how to tag images correctly, and there's a ton of different skills and tactics that go into ranking a website. But if you can learn the skill, you can make a lot of money doing it. If you can develop any sort of skill that you can sell online that other people aren't able to do very easily, you're going to be able to create a career for yourself, not just a simple work from home online job. Because there are a ton of jobs out there that you can simply do right now, such as Amazon Mechanical Turk or these simple task jobs, which basically just means that you're clicking buttons for money. And you can't really make that much money, maybe $2 to $5 an hour, doing these simple tasks that basically anyone can do. So by developing a skill like becoming an SEO expert, you can start selling yourself and selling your skill set online. And that takes us on to today's sponsor, which is Squarespace. If you want to develop a website for someone or even for yourself, you don't even have to know a single line of code. You really don't have to have any website building skill or knowledge to create a website with Squarespace. It takes minutes to set up and you can create a beautifully crafted website that looks like it was designed by a professional. They've got a ton of different templates that you can use to design your website, and they've got award-winning 24/7 customer service. So if you run into any problem creating your or your client's website, it's going to take you a few moments to get it sorted out and fixed. So if you want to start your own search engine optimization or own website designing business, do it with Squarespace, because you can start your own work from home job by doing that. So whether you just need a domain name, you want to create a website, or maybe you want to create an online store, create it with Squarespace. So number 7 is ghostwriting for blogs, articles, and authors. So you might not really think about this, but a lot of the books, guides, articles, blog posts that you read aren't really written by one author. They're written by a bunch of different people. And that happens because a lot of people don't have the time to sit down and write an entire article, write an entire guide, or write an entire book. So what happens? They hire ghostwriters. So depending on what sort of field you have some knowledge in, you can ghostwrite for that specific topic. For example, I'm well versed in photography, so I could ghostwrite for a photographer, for a photography book, photography guides, anything along those lines. Maybe you've got a lot of knowledge on nutrition and fitness. You could ghostwrite for someone's blog or even for a book that they're writing to help them save up time and make you some extra money. If you start getting really good at this and start getting recognized for your skill, you're going to be hired more and more often. While you're doing this, you can also build your own blog or own website on the side. So as you improve your writing skill, you can be writing your own blog, which eventually you can hire your own ghostwriters for. Moving on to number 6, and that is teaching English online. Now, you may have heard about one of your friends or somebody you know taking a TEFL course or a Teach English in Foreign Language course. And basically what that means is that you're going to teach English to someone in China or Vietnam or Thailand. Often it's an Asian country, but it can be someone in Germany, depending on where your students come from. Now, if you're worried that you don't speak a foreign language at all, don't stress. You don't need to speak any other language other than English in order to teach in that language. A lot of the students who come onto the platform and are looking for teachers already have a slight base knowledge in English, and you're usually teaching little kids, so you don't ever really have to start from scratch. The students you get are usually hiring you as an after hours or extra lessons sort of class. There's a ton of different platforms that you can get hired on by doing this, and you can simply work from your laptop. And the great thing about doing this is that you can work on your own terms. You can choose how many hours a day you want to work, depending on how much money you want to earn. You can earn anywhere from $14 to $30 an hour depending on how good your English is and what sort of background in teaching you have. If you don't have any sort of degree at all, you can expect to have it on the lower end, but if you have a bachelor's degree or something higher, maybe you have a degree in English or you have a teaching background, you can earn a lot more. And again, this is a work from home job, but it's also a work from anywhere job. I have a few friends who travel full-time. They're in a new country just about every single week, and they're teaching English online. They make anywhere from $2,500 to $5,000 a month, depending on how many hours they work and what their base pay is. You can also earn tips from your students, and depending on your attendance rate and how good you are at teaching, your rate can go up depending on that. Number 5 is becoming an Airbnb host. Now, this is something that simply goes over people's heads and they don't even think about, because they think to themselves, oh, I don't own any property, I don't have any open houses, I don't have any apartments. That doesn't matter. You can rent out a spare room in your house and you can earn a lot of money from that. For example, when I travel, I mainly use Airbnbs. I no longer use hotels, simply because it's easier and it's nicer to stay with someone who has some knowledge of the city that you're visiting. I've paid anywhere from $80 to $150 a night for a simple room in somebody else's apartment. So if you have a spare room, even if you have a spare sofa, you can rent that out on Airbnb. It also doesn't take very long at all to set up your home on Airbnb. All you need is a little description about the place and a few good photos of the place that will be offered to your guests. If you can offer some sort of premium service and really be accommodating to your guests, you can become an Airbnb superhost and you can start charging more for your space. For example, if you rent out a spare room at $100 a night and you only occupy that room for around 15 nights a month, you're making an extra $1,500 a month that you wouldn't have made otherwise. You can take this a step further as well and start renting out other apartments as you start having more capital roll in. Depending on what sort of rules the landlord has set in place, you could rent out an apartment and then convert it into an Airbnb spot. I know some cities have started imposing laws on this right now, but depending on where you live, you might still be able to do this and make a bunch of extra cash. Number 4 is becoming a craftsman, or creating your own product to sell online. Now, this could be anything from a handcrafted product to something that you get manufactured at a large scale. When I was a teenager, I used to make little wooden gift boxes and sell them on Etsy. Now, depending on what sort of thing or product you can craft, you can make a lot of money doing this. Whether it's selling gift cards, maybe you're making custom-made lamps or wallets. I have a friend who makes custom leather handbags, and she's making a killing doing this. So you can start small and start creating these little products at home and selling them online. And when your business starts taking off and you start having more money rolling in, you can use that to fund your business and eventually grow it. And then start something like an Amazon business, where you start creating bulk orders, you're getting your products manufactured in a factory and then selling them on Amazon. As a lot of you guys know, I run a successful Amazon business where I get products manufactured in China and then shipped over to Amazon's warehouses in the US, where it's then distributed and fulfilled from their warehouses. And when you do this, your business can grow very, very quickly and you can scale it quite rapidly because a lot of the hard, heavy lifting gets taken out of your hands. The manufacturing process is done without you touching the product. The fulfillment is done by Amazon, so you don't have to worry about getting your products to your customers and shipping it out. All you really have to manage is customer support and marketing. You could also do this with eBay. You could do something like retail arbitrage, where you buy products at a regular retail store, mark it up slightly, and then sell it on eBay. If you can find coupons or find really good deals at your local store, you can get those products, buy them, and then throw them up on Amazon and start making a small profit on each of those products. Then once you've built some of that money up, you can use that to start your additional businesses or start your own handmade, handcrafted product business. Number 3 is becoming a copywriter. Now don't worry again if you haven't done this before, if you don't know how to write, there are a ton of different guides and courses out there that can help you learn to become a professional copywriter. The trick to becoming a money-making copywriter though is getting into the correct niche. Now you could become a copywriter for some business who needs simple text done, or you could become a specialist copywriter and learn how to create sales copy and marketing copy. People are willing to pay other people if they can make them more money. So if you can make a business or a client more money by creating effective sales copy for them, they're willing to pay you big money. So I suggest taking a course on sales copywriting and learning how to sell, especially in written form, because it can be a lot different from selling to someone in person or selling to someone over the phone. There's a lot of psychology and manipulation tactics that come into play when you're writing effective sales copy. So if you can teach yourself how to write effective sales copy, this is something you really should do. I know people who have paid anywhere from $10,000 to $20,000 for a single page of sales copy. So if you can pick up solid clients like that, you might only have to write a few sales pages a year to make a full-time income. Number 2 is music lessons or teaching something from home. Now again, depending on what sort of skill you have on offer, that is something that you can offer to someone else to teach them. Education is one of the biggest businesses in the entire world. So if you have a skill that you can pass on to someone else, they're definitely going to be willing to pay you for it. Maybe you know how to play the piano and you can teach that to local kids around the school. Maybe you're a photographer and you know how to take beautiful images. You could teach photography to your local neighborhood. Perhaps you know how to code websites. Maybe you know how to crochet scarves. Whatever it is, there's definitely something that you have that you can offer to someone else that they can learn about. My aunt used to run a home baking school, so once a week a whole lot of people would come over to her house and she would teach them how to bake cakes and how to craft these little flowers, and she would make around $2,500 a week doing that. So find your skill and learn to sell it. You can take this another step further by creating an online course. So once you've proven to yourself that you know how to teach and that you can do it, it really isn't that difficult at all, then you can create your own online course. Now the great thing about an online course is that you can sell to an audience that is much bigger than your local neighborhood. If you're selling just to your local neighborhood, you can only get around 5 to 10 students depending on how many people you can fit in your house and how many people you can give individual attention to. Whereas if you create an online course, you don't just have to have 5 or 10 students. You can have 5 or 10,000 students, 20,000 students, 100,000 students. And if you get 100,000 students paying you $1,000 each for a course, you're going to be making a lot of money. Online course creation is a very big deal right now. Just as I've said, people are willing to spend money on education. And if they can get that education from a reputable source, like someone who works in that field rather than just some random teacher who has never actually worked in the field that they're teaching, they're going to be willing to pay you. And finally, moving on to number 1, that is becoming an author. Yes, write your own book. Self-publishing has never been easier than it is right now. You can write a book, maybe even get it ghostwritten by some ghostwriter, and you can publish it in minutes on Amazon. You can create an ebook and you can even sell that ebook on your own platform if you don't want to sell it on Amazon. In the past, it would be much more difficult to become an author. You need to find a publisher, you need to find someone who's willing to distribute your book for you. However, now you can do that all by yourself. You simply have to create the book, write it, upload it to Amazon, create the ebook, and just do the marketing yourself. Amazon also has millions of customers waiting to buy new products. So if you have a book that really does have good information in it, or maybe it's something that's entertaining and exciting, you're going to start making sales and you can make a few extra dollars every single month doing that. I made my very first couple $100s online selling a fitness ebook. I've got quite a lot of knowledge on fitness and health, so I was able to put that into a book and start selling it online. And that did very well. I realized that I can make money online selling something. That's when my online career took off, because I realized that there's so much potential online and so much money to work from home that I've never ever looked back. I've never had a boss in my entire life. I've never worked for anyone else other than myself. I have control over my own time and my own life, and you should too. So I really hope this video helped you guys and that you liked it and you have something to work from right now. Maybe I've put you into action and you're going to get started working from home and making your own money and taking control over your own life. If you liked the video, don't forget to hit the like button, hit the subscribe button if you want to see more videos in the future. And as always, I shall see you in the next video. Cheers.